Hi, I'm Krista Johnson. This is Theodore. I think this makes the beginning of maybe of week 3 exactly today. And I put 4 rides on him before today. And I just worked on getting him to be comfortable moving forward in the walk, trot, and canter both ways in the round pen. I very quickly realized that he doesn't really know what the reins mean. He's pretty good for bridling, pretty good for saddling, mounting, all that stuff. Someone did a great job with him on that. But I'd really like to get him light on the bit and getting him connecting the reins to his feet. Here I'm just asking for a lateral bend. This is his better side, and he's already that heavy, but it's getting better than what it was. And I don't focus on doing this at a standstill a whole lot, but I do start there because I do want him to tip his nose slightly eventually, but he's a lot more heavy on this side. That's better than it was the other day. I'm going to pet him there. So my goal for this little session is going to be to connect the reins to his back feet. So I'm going to start by bringing my rein down here towards my knee. I'm going to sit up a little bit more. When I was asking him to stand still and bend, I was a little bit heavier in my seat. I'm getting a little bit lighter in my seat. I'm going to turn my toes out a little bit. I'm going to wait until he shifts that left hip over and maybe even goes forward. And then I'm going to set that rein down. And we're off. So I'm going to use these little obstacles I have here just as something, as a marker to go towards, to focus on, and he can kind of maybe put something visual into the pattern I'm doing here. I just wanted him to come over here to this barrel because I happened to release his hind feet when they were propelling towards this barrel, so I was like, I'll start there. I want to pet him because that's where I wanted to go, and I did want him to stop. So now I'm going to start with his left side because he's a little not as bad about the left side, and then we'll work on the right side as well depending on how long this takes. But I'm sitting up again, turning my toes out a little bit, putting a little rhythm in my feet, and I want to wait till that hip goes and I release that rein. But I want his hind feet pointed towards that barrel. I get real quiet when he points himself towards that barrel. I don't have reins on him, I don't have legs on him. And because we're stopped, I'm going to set my seat back down like I want him to stop. I'm going to pet him. And this is a good little exercise to teach your horse to go where they don't want to go, whether it's a certain side of the arena or away from the barn or something out on the trail. Whenever they're worried about going towards something, most people tend to focus on getting the nose pointed that way. I focus on getting the back feet pointed that way. So while I'm connecting this left rein to his right hind foot, ideally, I'm going to use those back feet. I'm going to release when those back feet are going away. Here I'm going to use my right rein just because of the way we're set up here, and you can see he's a lot heavier on that, but as soon as that hip goes, I'm going to release and let him know it's about yielding that hip. Let's see if I can direct his back feet towards this pole over here. I'm going to release when his back feet are propelled here. I'm going to get really quiet. He's missing my goal here. I'm going to pick up this right rein. I'm coming down and around towards my knee. I'm not coming back towards my hip or towards my body. That would give a bad angle. If I just come straight back here and he pulls that heavy, he's going to have the angle on me, and I'm not going to have a prayer on getting him light on the bridle. He'll just pull that much more hard. He didn't quite get to the pole, but we're close enough to it. I'm just going to pet him. I'm going to pick up that right rein again. And this rein position is going to be something that I use for a lot of things. I'm going to hold here until he gets yielding those hind feet in the direction of this barrel over here. I'm going to release. I squeeze just a little bit to ask him to go forward. I'm looking at that barrel. That's where I want him to go. That's not where he's going. I'm going to pick up this rein, wait till that hip yields, and then we get those back feet propelled here. I'll use the rein to adjust when he commits to going off pattern, and then I'll get quiet when he starts going towards where I want to go. I'll pet him. This is also how I start teaching him to stay between my reins and my legs when I ride. But I got to make sure I differentiate in my seat whether I want him to move forward or just bend his nose around a little bit. But it's hard for them to yield their hind feet if they don't have forward going. So I'm looking at the pole right now and he's just stopping here. I can use the same rein position to stop. I can use it to get them to go forward. I can use it to get them to relax. I can use it to get them to go where they don't want to go. So here, since we lost forward, I'm just going to see if I can squeeze a little bit and see if we can go towards this pole here. We put some effort into going forward. He's not going forward when he's pawing like that. I'm just giving him a little tap with the strings there on the saddle. I would rather spank a horse than kick him in the ribs. I don't like kicking a horse in the ribs. It's rude and it's not very effective. And I feel like once you start doing that, the horse will just learn to wear it that much more. If you ever notice on race horses, jockeys don't kick those horses to go faster. They usually use some sort of whip to spank them, and it tends to be more effective. I'm going to squeeze a little bit with my heels first, and I'm just thinking of turning my toes out when I'm doing that. And if he decides to ignore that, then I'm going to use something, whether it's the saddle strings or the end of my Makati, to encourage him to go forward. So he's committing to not going to this blue barrel over here. And you use that rein to direct him over here and then set him down. I'm going to wait till he commits to not going to that barrel and pick up that rein. Encourage those hind feet to go back over here. He's missing it again. Pick up this right rein, see if I can direct the feet here, and then he found it. So sometimes it really helps in the beginning for greener horses or colt starting, once you get them moving out forward and kind of understanding what the reins mean a little bit, to have some kind of marker to go towards so the horse can get that idea. Oh, we're going to that. Oh, we're going over there. Oh, we're going over here. I didn't ask him to go anywhere, but I'm not going to punish him for going forward because he tends to be a bit of an overachiever sometimes. So I don't want to punish him for going forward. I'll just direct the feet and use that energy to put it towards something. And your focus is the most important thing on this, being quiet when they're going the right direction. And I'm going to wait until he commits to not going to that obstacle before I correct him. I don't want to be fixing his nose every time he gets off pattern and micromanaging him. I'll wait until he's really committed to going off pattern, and then I'm going to talk to those hind feet and propel those hind feet towards the obstacle. Here I might see if I can use this left rein around here. He's getting lighter on this side. See if I can get him to roll his hindquarters around, roll him around, see if I can point towards that pole. He thought barrel, not a problem. I might just squeeze and ask him to go forward, and he's thinking more barrel, not a problem. We haven't been really working on backing up at all. So that might be handy just to get him away from that a little bit, but I'm going to stick to this one rein position because that's where we're at now. Pick up that left rein. I'm bringing it right to my knee until I feel that hip yield away. I'm trying to focus on this pole. See how I wait until he's committed to not going there, then I'll pick up that rein. Wait till his hip's pointed there, not just his nose. So he's already starting to feel better on that right rein already than where we started for today, but this is a good little tool for a lot of different reasons. That rein position is going to eventually turn into relaxation, engagement, disengagement, all sorts of things, and just getting to his mind and getting him emotionally collected. But I'm going to stop there because that improved a lot in a short amount of time, and I'm really happy with where he progressed there. So I'm going to stop that session for there, and we're probably going to be done with our ride. Thanks for joining us.